What is up, you guys? We're back and I messed up like instantly. So in today's video, we're going to be redoing the hot side for the S475 Turbo. I will pull it off real quick and show you how I messed up. I had thought about it while I was in the process of it, and then I was like, it'll be fine. I think I've seen people do it like this before. My brother watched my video, instantly was like, bro, you did it wrong. Not a big of a deal, we just have to redo everything. So let's dive right into pulling this off. So it's definitely not pretty, but as you can see, the runners come off the flange and go back towards the back part of the exhaust manifold, and the driver's side is also pointed back and it was going to loop into this, and so basically the crossover would be coming exhaust from the driver's side into the back of this manifold, and the air from the passenger side head would be going right back towards it. So it's going to create a really bad exhaust back pressure issue. So what we need to do is we need to take my other manifold I have and have the runners facing forward to the flange so that all the exhaust gas circulates the right way. So let's jump into that. So we're gonna have to use this manifold. So we're going to cut the bottom off and we're going to 90 up right there and mount our T6 flange on it. And then we're just going to take another piece of 2.5 inch tubing and 90 down like that connection right there. So it's gonna be a little bit more work. I hope that makes sense. That's what we're doing. So let's just get to cutting and grinding again.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times, cause anything worth.
Alrighty guys, so this is beyond ugly, like absolutely ugly, but it's gonna get the job done just fine, so I don't even care. I'm gonna heat wrap it all and you'll never see it, as long as obviously I'm gonna weld it all out. But yeah, so we got it set up, that's how it needs to be, and perfect, should work out nicely. I need to cut the T6 flange off of the other manifold and weld it on, and we will be good to go. I'm not gonna weld it all out because I am pretty much out of gas, so I'm just tack welding, and then tomorrow I'm gonna get gas and weld it the rest of the way out. Alrighty, so it is another day. I am back in the garage with the car. I just worked a 14-hour day. I have an hour commute each way, so I'm pretty tired, but we're going to get some stuff done for you guys. We're gonna continue working on the hot side just a little bit, and also we are finally going to throw a Fender on there. We're not gonna get it finally mounted or anything, but we're just gonna get it mostly mounted up, see how the fitment is, and then we will end up mounting it and wiring it up soon. I don't have a taillight or housing yet. As you saw, I blew it off in this burnout. Let's jump into throwing the Fender on, and then we will jump into the crossover.
Take me back to a place where I felt at.
Alrighty guys, so obviously the fit up isn't great or perfect. I didn't grab the little rubber insulation piece that goes between the body and the fender from the donor car, so I'll have to get something like that so that I can put the little insulation in there. But the front is not mounted yet because all of the bolts ripped out. All the bolts ripped out of the body, so I'm gonna have to take it and either weld some nuts in there or maybe just self-taper it in. We'll see what I end up doing. I may do that later. That's not really a big priority right now, honestly. I might just end up self-tappering it right before Texas. But for the most part, I mean, obviously it's gonna sit a little bit higher and tighter, but we more or less got another fender on there, so that's all that matters. Doesn't look bad. I'm going to nut and bolt it together down here. We'll be good to go. So super awesome. We just need another fender on there for Texas for the burnouts. Need to order a light, get a new light for that so that we can get it street legal again, because I haven't driven it on the street since before LS Fest West, because obviously I blew the fender off and I haven't had time or money or really necessity to get lights and get it back on the street because we were working. Alrighty guys, so I finally got the hot side complete on the Bug. As you can see, some very ugly welds right there. We've got the T6 flange for the turbo, and then it drops down. We got the driver's side, and it drops down. Let me go underneath and show you exactly where they connect and how they connect. But it's actually a really simple setup. It's a really simple setup. Right now you're facing the front of the car. The passenger turbo side drops down into a 45, into a 90, over, and then the driver's side is just straight down into a 90. It connects really clean, just a smidge lower than the oil pan, but we shouldn't have any issues. If we do, I will do some trimming and some readjusting. I am going to obviously heat wrap everything and tie these lines out of the way so that they're not going to touch the exhaust. It's my coolant lines and some wires. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get those out of the way, don't worry. But yeah, it's really clean. I'm really happy with it. Looks really pretty dang good. I'm going to get some U-bolt clamps for each side. Clamp right there, and we will be done. I could not find any 2-bolt flange. I could not find any 2-bolt flanges today. I went to a bunch of different auto parts stores. Nobody had them locally, so I'm just gonna use the U-bolt clamps and see how it works. If I have issues with maybe too much back pressure and it's trying to push off, or it's just leaking, then I will definitely revamp that and weld on some 2-bolt flanges. It'll be super easy to slide that 90 out, weld a 2-bolt flange on, chop it, weld a 2-bolt flange on, be done. Alrighty guys, so I am mounting the wastegate to the passenger manifold, and we are test fitting and everything. And that's the best place to put it physically for it to not get in the way of anything, is right down by the firewall, dumped straight down. I don't have a hole saw or anything, and so I had to do it all with an angle grinder, and it wasn't terribly pretty, but it's going to work nicely. So I hope it has good flow priority and we don't get boost creep, but we will definitely find out. And I am welding it on with the wastegate clamped on the V-band so we don't get any warping in the V-band. I'm drilling for the oil return right here, from the turbo to the oil pan, and it went pretty smoothly, and I definitely tried to get away without using a tap, and it wasn't working too great, so I had to buy the $25 tap that I'm only going to use once, but oh well. Let's hope it doesn't leak. So far, so good, and it went pretty smoothly. Alrighty guys, I'm going to open up and start soaking the heat wrap for the exhaust. We're going to heat wrap this whole thing. Try and keep it as much heat out of the engine bay and away from wires and coolant lines and all the stuff that the hot side's close to. And the more heat you have in your hot side, to a degree I believe, the quicker your car will spool. So the heat wrap will keep the heat inside the exhaust, keep my exhaust gases hotter, make it spool better. So you want to wear gloves because this stuff will make you very, very itchy. So I've heard about soaking it, and in their instructions they said to soak it, so. Not 100% sure why. Maybe it just makes it conform better. But, wow. I just watched the water level drop a lot. Soaked it in. I've never heat wrapped before, so I'm going to just kind of throw it on time lapse and see what I can get done. Never done it before, so we'll see how it goes. So like I said, this is my first time using heat wrap, and oh my goodness, going through the runners was so annoying. I had to pull the whole 30 or 50 feet of heat wrap through every single runner every time I went around. You can't really see it on the time lapse that well, but this whole thing took me probably 45 minutes to heat wrap. It was a lot of work, but it looks amazing, and I think it's going to perform well, and I am really, really excited. Came out better than I really could have hoped. It's super, super exciting. Right here we are drilling and tapping our oil feed for the turbo. I bought an ICT billet oil cooler block off plate quite a while ago when I originally put the engine together for the car, and I ended up just drilling and tapping that and using that because I already had it and there was no reason to spend more money. But you can see right here it was fighting me super bad to get the tap started. I struggled a lot, but once we got it started, it went in nicely, cut beautiful threads, and we were able to put our oil feed into it with zero issues. So right here, I had my wife out there helping me. We got the big old turbo mounted. A few of the bolts on the flange are pretty hard to get to, but not impossible. Got it nice and mounted, super exciting. And then we were sitting there talking and decided to test fit the hood. And right as I grabbed it to put it on, the GoPro died. But the hood clears perfectly and is super exciting. Then I started cutting the frame rails to get them out of the way a little bit more so I could snake my intercooler piping through there. Alrighty guys, so it is the next day and I have been working my tail off and we are almost there. We're in the home stretch. So let me just give you a little update. I figured the videos were getting a little long and I would just show you when I was done. We got the turbo in, we got it plumbed up. We kept the ABS plastic just for all the people that seem to love it in the comments. But we got piping going down to our intercooler right here. I got a black one, and then piping coming up. Everything clears, everything's solid. We got our turbo oil drain line routed and plumbed in. Then we got our oil feed. We are going to zip tie it out of the way and everything, but it is routed and in. Our wastegate is done. I do need to mount it still one last time, but the wastegate, got our little dump welded on. Nothing special, nothing crazy, but it's gonna dump basically downwards and out of the car. So super excited. The last thing we have left to do, the last thing is exhaust. So we're gonna do as straight of a shot as we can back, and right here out the fuel door, which is underneath that hinge. Yeah, so we're gonna dump the exhaust right here. That we will get to very, very shortly. But yeah, we're pretty much there. So Alrighty, so my garage is an absolute disaster, but we're gonna clean this up a little bit, throw the wastegate on, throw the plug wires back on, and we're gonna get the first start of the turbo LS bug. So let's do that real quick. Alrighty, we're going to crank it and see if oil comes out of the oil feed into this water bottle. We've got all the spark plug wires off, so shouldn't fire up or anything, but yeah, we're just gonna prime the turbo first. Ooh, why did it fire? These 4 coil wires are off. Oh. I missed 1 spark plug wire. Whoops. Oh. Whew. Oh, that was scary. Yeah, that was horrifying. Okay, we're gonna unplug the coils instead. Oh, that got my heart racing. Coils are unplugged.
One hour later.
There we go. There we go. It's getting nervous. Definitely due for an oil change, but that's a problem for another day, isn't it? So I guess the spark plug wires that were often dangling happened to make spark. And there was fuel coming through the turbo because I was cranking it with the injectors plugged in, so that's my bad. Heck yeah. So we are good to go. Don't have an O2 sensor plugged in, so it's running super rich and doesn't smell great. But that, oh, we got an oil leak. Yep, coming right from where I thought. All right. Spliced the oil line together and it is leaking already. So we do have an oil leak, not surprising. But yeah, sweet. It is pretty much there. So we're gonna do a few more small things, get it buttoned up. It does clear the hood and everything. We gotta do the exhaust out the side and wait for our map sensor to get here and a few more things and we will be ready to rip. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to stay hungry, stay humble, stay motivated. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.